Hi guys, today we're going to review the glorious Model I gaming mouse. This is my first glorious peripheral, and in this video, I will share to you all my experiences and thoughts about this gaming mouse. Before we start, we would like to ask a small favor from you. If you happen to like this video, please hit the subscribe button below. This will help us maintain and create more tech reviews for you. For doing that, thank you guys. Now let's do the unboxing. Inside the box, you can find some documentation, a sticker, replacement buttons, and the mouse itself. There are no special items in the box except for the gaming mouse. Like I said earlier, this is my first glorious gaming mouse, and I was like a kid when I first opened the box and used it. After putting the mouse into action for a few times, I was amazed how light the mouse is. Well, being lightweight is its selling point. As advertised, it weighs around 69 to 73 grams. Even though it's a wired gaming mouse, you'll never feel the wire while using it, especially if you're using a mouse bungee. In short, it feels like a wireless gaming mouse. I also use this mouse at work and I really love the weight. My work is almost 9 hours and I do not experience fatigue when I use it at work. In terms of the switches, it uses Glorious variant of KLGM 8.0. I think this is expected from Glorious because most gamers would like newer switches and better performance and lifespan than most switches today. Like I said in my previous videos, I'm the type of gamer who looks into the specification sheet. I'll choose the mouse with newer specs compared to the older ones. Now, here's a quick sound test of the switches. In terms of performance, an average gamer or a casual gamer will not feel the difference. Gaming mice today should be judged by their shape. The shape of this mouse perfectly fits my hand. Although the back of the mouse is not raised enough, in my case, it can still support my hand when using the claw grip style. Also, I can palm it easily because the mouse is not too big for my hand. This is also the same when I use the fingertip style. This is not an ambidextrous gaming mouse because the mouse is designed for right-hand users only. The thumb rest is very noticeable at its left side. If you have watched other reviews of this mouse, they're comparing it with the Razer Basilisk or Logitech G502 because the shape is almost the same. For me, in terms of the design, I'll choose the glorious Model I. Why? Because it looks cleaner and it's not bulky. At the top, the honeycomb design is incorporated into this mouse. This is also the same when you flip the mouse and check the bottom. I think this design makes it lighter, and maybe this is the reason why the mouse weighs only 69 grams. Meanwhile, there's one RGB strip at each side of the mouse. Also, the mouse will illuminate RGB colors. In my opinion, the RGB strip should be at the back or at the tail of the mouse. Why? It's simple and it's minimalist. At the side, you'll see the 4 buttons. 2 of them are magnetic and replaceable. Now, if we look at the front of the mouse, you'll see the slanting design leaning towards the right. At first, I was skeptical about the ergonomics of this mouse because the weight and force might stress my pinky finger. But as I use it more, I was able to adjust and find some ways to avoid stressing it. At the right side, you'll see the Glorious logo and a small Glorious text at the side of the right clicker. Another factor that makes this mouse great is its mouse feet or mouse skates. The mouse boasts its G-Skates premium mouse feet. In other words, the mouse feet are 100% PTFE mouse skates. By the way, upon opening the box, the skates are covered with blue stickers. In my case, I already removed it before making this video. All the edges of the mouse have mouse skates including the thumb rest. Also, the thickness of each mouse skate is 0.81mm. One thing I noticed is that the ring around the mouse sensor doesn't have a mouse skate installed on it. But I think it's sold separately because there's a visible placeholder of the mouse skate around the sensor. Even though there's no mouse skate installed around it, the mouse is really smooth when gliding. The glorious Model I has BAMF mouse sensor. According to some redditors, the BAMF mouse sensor is based from PAW3370. This sensor detects movement faster and has a lift-off distance of 1 to 2 mm. Also, it's mostly used in wireless gaming mice because of its low power consumption. I think this is the reason why Model O Wireless has the same sensor as Model I. As for my experience, I could really say the mouse sensor is really good. To be honest, somehow my aiming improved when using this mouse. Also, there's no angle snapping when using it. Here's a quick angle snapping test. Although I'm not an expert in flicking, let's see how this mouse reacts to mouse flicking. As you have noticed, there are 4 buttons on the left side. 2 of them are magnetic and replaceable. You can remove them and use the blank buttons if you don't want to use them. The aforementioned buttons can also be configured using the Glorious Core software. In my case, I just use the default settings of the buttons. When gaming, I always replace the 2 buttons with the blank ones because there's a possibility that I might press them. Also, I am not a fan of multiple mouse buttons. I'm just okay with 2 buttons on the left side. Just like most gaming mice today, the Glorious Model I has a default DPI settings of 400 to 3200. This setting can also be changed in the Glorious Core software and set the maximum up to 19,000 DPI setting. Meanwhile, the indicator is located at the bottom of the mouse. And this is what I don't like about the mouse. When you're gaming and you frequently change your DPI setting, you need to flip the mouse to check it. The ascended cord cable of this mouse is soft and you'll barely feel it when using a mouse bungee. The length of the cable is around 2 meters. It's a bit long compared to other gaming mice. In terms of the price, this mouse is around 2,990 pesos or $57. The price is a bit higher but the performance of this mouse suffices. By the way, I got this mouse from Rotobox PH. You can check them out on Facebook. Also, they have online stores like Lazada or Shopee. Overall, I'm satisfied with the performance of this mouse. I know the price is a bit higher but every peso you spend is worth it. But the most important feature for me is its mouse feet. So far, in all of the gaming mice I have tested and reviewed, the G-skates of the Glorious Model I really stands out. The shape of this mouse fits my hand and I can do whatever grip style I want. I love the thumb rest because it covers all of my thumb and it doesn't feel short or uncomfortable. Also, I like how Glorious made the mouse wheel of this mouse. Most of the time, my index finger is not sweaty and it's not slippery when scrolling. Also, I like the DPI buttons. The plus or minus functionality makes you switch the setting easily when you need to. As for the honeycomb design, I'm not a fan but it helps the mouse to be lightweight. Meanwhile, there's no significant resistance when clicking the switches. I've experienced no fatigue even though I've played Valorant for hours. Like I said earlier, I use this mouse at work. It's a 9-hour shift and the ergonomics of this mouse helps me a lot. But there's no perfect mouse. In my opinion, the DPI indicator should not be at the bottom. It should be on the top to help us determine what setting we are at. If your focus is on the game, it will be hard to determine the DPI setting not unless you memorize the sensitivity of this mouse. Aside from that, I'm not a fan of magnetic or removable buttons. In my opinion, Glorious should have retained the 2 buttons on the left side. It looks cleaner and it's more spacious. Also, it's less of a hassle memorizing the functionality when you set it on the Glorious Core application. Well, this is just me. If you disagree, put a comment below and let's discuss. In this case, I will not give it a grade because it's my first Glorious gaming peripheral and I don't have a Razer Basilisk or a Logitech G502 to compare it with. In my opinion, it's a great mouse. I love to use it in gaming and at work. Most probably, I'll be using it as my daily driver. Guys who reached the end part now, hopefully you like this video. Again, please hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share it. Till our next, goodbye.